Questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank the witnesses. I want to focus a little bit on the physical security of the grid. I think all of you may remember, there was an attack on transformers in North Carolina. There's two different facilities where someone who was obviously an expert marksman also understood exactly where to place the shots, took down several transformers. My concern about this is our supply chain issues. I mean, this wasn't like you just go out and open up a garage somewhere and start pulling transformers out and put them back. And one of the things that I've been looking at is the delay now in getting transformers on the procurement side. It's about 4 years. Mr. Aronson, I'd like for you to comment on this because I'm very concerned. And we had attacks, and I think 15 or 16, maybe more than that, attacks in the months leading up to the successful attack in North Carolina. Do you have the same concerns that some of us have about supply chain issues?
It may surprise you to hear I have less concern about the supply chain, but more concern about the proliferation of those attacks. You go back to 2013, there was the Metcalf substation shooting. You had the two in Moore County, North Carolina, and there are a couple others that I could refer to. First of all, I think what's interesting about those is the Metcalf substation shooting did not result in any power outages. I think that shows the resilience of the system. The Moore County incident with two separate substations, 40,000 people lost power for 4 days. That showed the extraordinary work to respond and recover. Given these are soft targets that are all over the communities, it's going to be very hard to defend everything from everything all of the time. From a supply chain standpoint, what I would say is the electric power sector has built out some spare equipment sharing programs. EEI specifically started something called STEP, the Spare Transformer Equipment Program, and also built on that something called Spare Connect. So we have the capacity to move material and equipment to support response to these incidents while we then buy or procure these longer lead time assets. So I do have some concern with the supply chain standpoint, just given all of the growth that we are seeing across the industry and the need for these very hard, long lead time, hard to build, long lead time pieces of equipment. But from a response to physical incidents perspective,
Well, the thing,
we're pretty
Mr.
well
Aronson,
spared.
if all of those attacks that took place that year had been successful, we would have been in a really bad place because you call it equipment sharing programs. I call it scavenging for parts. That's basically what they had to do in North Carolina. And they did a remarkable job in restoring power in 4 days. But the other thing about it is and I say this over and over again, we're in an arms race for artificial intelligence with China, and whoever wins this will not be a superpower, they'll be the superpower. And they have an inordinate amount of control over the supply chain for the things that we have to build out our power grid. Ms. O'Neill, would you like to comment on that?
Thank you for the question there. I was nodding my head because it's trade-offs, right? I mean, there's more accessible, cheaper materials in certain places, but they introduce new risks, right? So we talk a lot about how to build a more cyber-aware system, you sort of have to start from the ground up, right? You have to build with security in mind and resilience in mind, but there's always these trade-offs you're managing between efficiency and security.
We're dependent on things, though, for our own, even on the cyber side, refined rare earth elements, for instance. China had said that they were going to impose an embargo that would have started December 1st. We cut a deal with them, and they postponed that for a year. If we do not secure on supply chain, our grid is in peril, as will be a number of other our military, our economies. And it's not just a U.S. problem, it's a Western Hemisphere problem. So those are some of the things that we're trying to address through this committee that we think are of paramount importance. Obviously, as I mentioned in the first panel, the attack on the Colonial Pipeline, the cyber threats. But we've also talked about the potential for an EMP event, which pretty much put everybody out of business. I just think we're not paying enough attention to the supply chain issues in the event of successful attacks against our grid and the ability to get things back up and running in a timely manner, and also in overall efforts in the data centers that we've got to build to compete in this artificial intelligence arms race. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you. The gentleman yields back.